All right, over here in the bottom right-hand side, I mean, effectively, the story of this man is beat me once, beat me 10 times, beat me 12 times, but not the 13th time. Let's see if he's going to get this victory. It is the Red Zerg, GogojOey.
No one beats GogojOey 12 times in a row and gets away with it.
You're losing a lot of ladder points at that point.
Yeah. And what's heartbreaking for both of these players, as we see, is that they're actually both teamless. GogojOey is really legit. Like I said, he's a grinder. This kid's going to just get better and better and better and stronger. And Haas is Haas. How is Haas not on a team? Just doesn't make sense.
He's a rule breaker, dude. Who needs a team? Just make his own team. Haas.
That's right.
It's got a ring to it. Not really.
Yeah. Haas. Yeah, I mean, you got to have that team, though. Obviously, it supplements your income. You get to afford a lot more plush dolls, anime posters, you know, just a few things off the top of my head.
Yeah, no relation, obviously. Figurines help
a little
out
bit
as
random,
well.
out of left field, yeah. But it's something that you definitely can afford. It's a thing that people like to have sometimes all around their room where they win tournaments. You see the Haas has got tons of earnings, 6 digits worth of earnings. He actually made the WCS finals once, actually in Valencia in 2018 against Cyril. He even took a map, and that was the year of Cyril as well, 2018, where Cyril had like a 20-something match win streak, and Haas would go from series to series with every opponent in WCS. You know, Haas made the round of 8, and every opponent in that WCS at Valencia was just like, "Lol, Haas, this is going to be quick and easy, boys, no problem." And then they'd lose, and then they'd just be like, "All right, well that sucks, but at least Special will get him, or at least Showtime will stop him." And it goes to Showtime, and Showtime's like, "Yep, no worries," and then loses. And it's like, Haas is in the grand finals. Like, okay, this is our reality now. And that was definitely a weird moment to see. And obviously, all the people that loved their more interesting Protosses were so happy to see Haas getting to that grand finale. Meanwhile, we are seeing a pretty quick forge here from Haas. It did seem like he wanted to maybe cannon block the natural or the, you know, where the third hatchery of GogojOey is, but the forge this fast could be for something a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe a quicker kind of upgrade. Maybe anticipating some aggression, wants to have the cannon for safety or something along those lines. Eager to see how he does end up using something like that. Force field could have been used to stop the Zerglings getting into the main, so information limited there for GogojOey until he does decide to get one of those big blimps in towards the main. I think Overlord does get dropped in towards the bottom side, towards the third of Haas there, so he's going to supply block GogojOey for quite a while here. 41 out of 36, only now just starting to Overlords. That is unfortunate.
Now, Pilly, I know you like your long ZVPs. You know, you want those 1 hour ZVPs, as we all do, let's be honest. This is not going to be one of those. I'm letting you know right now. If GogojOey doesn't drop a Roach Warren soon, he's going to die. Charge +1 attack on the way here for Haas. He is very much intending to swarm with Zealots right now. GogojOey dropping a lair at the moment. I mean, this is a lovely scout from GogojOey, though. That's unfortunate for Haas. This Overlord, the slow Overlord, mind you, getting all the way into the main base, seeing the Twilight Council dumping Chronos on the Forge as well. That is speaking volumes. And there's that Roach Warren. Good read from GogojOey. Good response.
Yep. Staying on top of it, getting a good read. Third Nexus just gets dropped by Haas immediately, so we'll see how much he commits into this play. Potentially going to try to get some damage done with it. The charge lot's always fearsome. DT follow-up, actually, so we'll see if Haas can get himself some damage and move into a bit longer of a game. But without the investment in that Stargate for the time being, and even with some ground upgrades, I wonder whether Haas is going to some point switch into Sky Toss, or whether he's going to play this pretty gateway heavy, you know, mobile kind of style where he just keeps dropping Nexuses and stays on the offensive.
Well, luckily, I feel like this is going to be one of those just, yeah, like on the gateway side. I think that we're going to be seeing Archons here from Haas with the DTs, but also just the DT itself can be quite nasty. Going into armor here, which is interesting. You don't normally see an armor upgrade in PvZ unless he's one of those double forge Protosses. But +1 is done for these Zealots, and he is looking for that timing attack. Now, GogojOey did make that Roach Warren, does have some Roaches on the way, but they're not here right now. He's actually still very Zergling heavy, which means these Zealots are going to have a field day with their +1 attack.
Yeah, a couple of roaches starting to filtrate down in towards that third base location, but it's a pretty rough cleanup here, all things considered for GogojOey. He had all the information he possibly needed. He had a decent timing dropping on that roach warren,
Oh god,
but
he's dead.
still not able to deal with this.
Yeah, GogojOey, he dropped the Roach Warren and it definitely was the right call, but I think maybe a little bit too much lava spent on Zerglings there. Maybe, being a little bit stubborn, trying to hold on to that third hatchery, but unfortunately, with this many Zealots on there and another round coming out from Haas, he's going to find more damage here. 21 drones is absolutely brutal here as Haas is up 17 workers against the Zerg, and he's not even cleaned up yet. These Roaches still taking some time to get rid of these Zealots.
Yeah, and I feel like Haas, it's not like he was even all in on that attack. It wasn't as strong as it possibly could have been. It's not like he went balls to the wall, dropping all of the gateways. He was still probing up. He's got some saturation on that third. The follow-up, you see those 4 DTs starting to make moves through the top side of the map. That's going to be the next wave of pressure. A couple of DTs slipped into a few mineral lines. I don't even know if there's any detection over there, and that could just be, another 8 to 9 drones going down. And yeah, no spores, no overseers. He's trying to drone up as much as he possibly can, but this DT follow-up is just going to further hamstring his economy.
Swipe and GG, I think we might be hearing here, Pilly, as there really is no gameplay for GogojOey to get out of this situation. I mean, he has the lair, obviously he can make overseers, but not before he loses his natural.
Well, big source of income does go by the wayside. A 2-base Zerg on 30 workers. To a 3-base fully juiced up economy Protoss. He's got the upgrades. Who needs a Stargate, man? Zealot Archon, pretty good.
Yeah, and the Archon got recalled there as well. One Archon did bite the dust, but the other one did get recalled. So now he's got multiple Archons. He's got +1 attack and +1 armor Zealots here with +1 attack Archons, which also technically have +1 armor that don't have 10 hit points. And this is an army that GogojOey can just not beat. It's just too hard for, even with Roaches and Ravagers, which is a great army against Zealots, the numbers just aren't here, unfortunately, for GogojOey. And without his macro engine being this well-fueled, only being on 32 drones, he's not going to be able to produce enough either. And there's the GG. Haas getting a bit of a nasty little strategy there, and it paying off dividends against GogojOey, who I think actually honestly bungled his response a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said there, just not having the right units. He had the right read, just not having the right units to be able to defend that. Maybe kind of taking it for granted after he scouted it that it wouldn't be as big of a commitment from Haas. And realistically, it wasn't. Man was building probes. Man was building a third Nexus straight after that got scouted. And look, I've seen way more Zealots than that. Like, what is that? Like 8, 9 Zealots with +1. You've got a Stalker in there, and it just does critical damage. That's insane.
Yeah. And it's 4 gates, so Haas has got a macro game on the backside of this as well. Like, if this was 8 gateways and he gets cleaned up, maybe GogojOey has a play here. But it's unfortunately just a 4-gate timing, which is completely recoverable from the Protoss. And he's got the DTs in the back pocket as well, which just really seal the deal. Like, at this moment, would not have been surprised at all if GogojOey tapped, because Haas is just going to have an army that's way too powerful. 1-1 Zealots against 0-0 Roaches here, off creep with Ravager support. It's just not the units that you need here, and certainly not the amount of units that you need from GogojOey to beat an army like this. And we have one of those fast, furious, action-packed CVPs that seem to be rare these days. But thank you, Taiwan region, for delivering in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's kind of penance from my journeys last night that I get to see a game like that. Can't say I'm too surprised from Haas, though. Definitely seen him utilize that pretty gateway-heavy style and just dropping extra Nexuses and going crazy on his opponent in that regard. And it seemed to work wonders against Joey. That was not a close game. So he's up 1-0 in the series. Here's Haas looking to try to advance here. I'm keen to see if Joey has any more left in the tank after a pretty impressive long series last night.
Well, he definitely has better games than that in his back pocket, and he needs to start bringing them out right now. The moment is now for GogojOey to try and fight back. So, we're going to take a short break. When we return, can GogojOey tie it up? Tune in and find out. Don't go away. We'll see you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. I'm Maynard. With me is Pilly, and we are on our second map here, just around the corner. In fact, that second map between Haas and GogojOey, with the Protoss player Haas, the mad scientist himself, being 1-0 up with a nifty little charge lot attack on 4 gateways with a Dark Shrine on the river, and ended up being a little bit too much for GogojOey to handle. So, what has GogojOey got for us in map 2, and what has Haas got for us in map 2? We'll find out together.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of success in multiple regions in this tournament with that charge lot kind of style. T-Ball already made his way in towards the bracket stage over there in Oceania with a whole lot of charge lot attacks in the PVZs, in the PVTs. Seems like a really strong approach at the moment. So Haas looking like he might be able to leverage that exact same thing to make his own way in towards the bracket. And I mean, who would really be surprised, to be honest?
Yeah, I mean, I actually was looking at the results a little bit here of GogojOey and Haas, and it really is like super convincing me that Haas is going to be very, very hard here for the Zerg to stop. Just looking back at, like, just to confirm that it actually has been since April that they played, and GogojOey actually got the victory there, but it's 12 series in a row that Haas has been in charge of. It's a tough nut to break, I think.
You had to say in charge of as well, like just to add insult to injury. After all's said and done, speaking of the man who's been charging up, he's been powering up, and he's looking to make his way into the bracket, just one game away. It is the Blue Protoss, Haas.
And in the bottom left here, currently teamless, currently without a map victory. But hopefully both those things change after this tournament. In the bottom left, it is Hong Kong Zerg, GogojOey.
As Pig called him last night, I think he called him Jojo. So I think that's
Jojo
his new
Goey.
nickname. If you're tight with him, you could call him Jojo, but only if you're tight with him.
GogojOey is great. I would love that.
Also, you know, Jojo Siwa doesn't go too bad either. You know.
No. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Fast forward again from Haas. Again, like when I see a forge this quickly, I kind of just expect that the Protoss is trying to cannon the potential expansions of the Zerg. Or, you know, game 1. Yeah, here come the cannons. Unfortunately, in range of the hatchery, Haas kind of messing this up a little bit. See, the thing with Haas is, sorry to interrupt, the thing with Haas is, sometimes he does stuff that you think's a mistake, but it's 100% deliberate because he's a 5,000 IQ Protoss.
Yeah. I mean, I know better than anybody as someone who casts tactical FPS games. Sometimes the best thing to do is the stupidest thing to do. In fact, a large portion of the time, that is correct. And if you do it with confidence, you're going to be winning yourself plenty of prize money. There's a cancel on the hatch, though.
Yep, which means that Haas can honestly cancel this cannon, but at the moment, GogojOey's going to be fighting for that third hatchery, and his natural is super late.
Well, cannon, did it finish, or did he cancel it?
I think it's... I think it actually did finish, because I think I saw a blinking Overlord getting shot at. Yeah, that cannon shot that Overlord there, so it finished. Which is going to be annoying for GogojOey in a little bit. Like, if the game gets longer and he wants to take his 4th base there, he's going to have to deal with that cannon.
In the meanwhile, Haas just grabbing himself his Adept, drops the Stargate directly onto the Overlord, so there is no funny business going on. And obviously with the investment in the pylons on the other side of the map, he has none in his main base, so he has nowhere else to put the tech structure for the time being.
And unfortunately for GogojOey, these 2 Lings are literally his entire army, so the one Zealot just randomly slow walks across the map and is too much of a match for these 2 Zerglings. Just giving Haas a bit more time to actually build a cannon here. A shield battery? And the Adept coming in? Haas is actually very annoying here, and if that Adept actually didn't shade away and was here with the Zealot, he can beat this army, and if the Probe stays alive, that shield battery or cannon or whatever he's trying to do here is absolutely going to happen. Oh my god, GogojOey. This is so annoying.
A lot invested in there, and the hatch does finish up, so Haas going to try his best to take this out. In the meanwhile, Roach Warren does start to finish up, so that might offer GogojOey some more options, especially if he builds some Roaches on this third base location.
God.
More Queens in position. He's trying to get a surround on towards the backside, but this probe being so annoying and the Adept being kept safe just as the shield battery finishes up.
Oh, man. And now we got multiple Adepts and a Zealot with shield batteries. You know, this is static defense being used as static offense right now against GogojOey, and there's an Oracle on the way. This is just your special brand of Protoss, and I'm so happy we're in the Taiwan region casting Haas again. It's been too long.
Yep. And try to get this around on that Zealot, but just gets back into range of that shield battery yet again. Man's being kept alive. And it's only a matter of time, I'm thinking, until this hatch starts to go down. One transfuse, trying to keep it healthy, trying to keep it alive. There's a few more roaches starting to pop out. Oracle does get pushed away for the time being, and 4 queens. I think he can probably break this and keep this hatch alive.
I think that Joey is going to actually clean this up. The Roach is making a huge difference here, and with the queens being this high in number, the Oracle got slapped back as well. I was really worried that the 2 Oracles are going to show up at the shield battery and bolster the Adept and Zealot force, and then just try and like DPS through that army of the Zerg. It didn't end up happening for Haas, so it looks like Joey is going to stabilize, but it is still a little bit of a time before he recovers and becomes safe here. Haas does have the advantage at the moment. What Joey's got going for him is that he has a bigger army, but it's one that's almost completely shut down by Oracles. So yeah, the Roaches are running through the right side of the map, but the Oracles have found them, and now, you know, he's just waiting his time. He's like, are these Roaches seriously going to commit? Because until they do, I'm not going to activate my Oracles.
Not going to be firing his laser anytime soon. Meanwhile, Haas grabbing himself some more probes. Pretty even work account amongst both of these players. And with the air superiority and the investment in some of these Void Rays, Haas going to start to feel more and more confident over time that he can move out past his means and grab himself a 3rd Nexus, a couple more Roaches being zapped away, and Joey droning behind this.
He is indeed. And the Void Rays start producing here for Haas from that Stargate, and Joey doesn't seem to be having a huge macro game in mind. He's actually got a lot of Lings on the way. And with this many Lings on the way, I kind of feel like he's going to try and get something done on Haas' National, or at least try and make sure that a 3rd doesn't get out without a fight, which is tough because there are multiple Stargate units here for Haas. So it looks like it's just a safety for GogojOey. Uh-oh. Pilly.
That was cute. The Overlord scouts the Twilight, and then he just drops... he cancels and drops double Stargate.
Yeah, so trying to sell a story here to GogojOey, and if GogojOey does get surprised by it, this game will be pretty fast, I feel. But if he does pick up those extra 2 Stargates, I hope you got a comfortable chair, guys, because it's going to go the distance.
There you go. Ask the kind of man that can spin you a bit of a yarn. Say anything. We'll see how that works out for the man. He's getting himself that 3rd Nexus as well. And Joey, he's grabbing himself the lair, so potential for the man to start to move into that Spire tech. And that's where he showed a lot of proficiency yesterday in the series against But Always. Really leveraged a high queen count and a hell of a lot of corruptors to some great results. Let's see if he can replicate it yet again.
Now, Pilly, what do you think the odds are on the Void Rays showing up and then just one-shotting that, well, not one-shotting, but just burning down that really damaged hatchery?
Very high.
I think so too. I think that I'm looking into my crystal ball and it says Outlook Light Leak. So I think that that's the plan for Haas.
Damn, you're getting emails on your crystal ball now. You can get Outlook on that thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, we'll go with that. I actually forgot Outlook was a thing, to be honest. I haven't had an office job for a while. That's the last time I had Outlook.
There you go. I'd say your outlook for your life looking pretty good if you don't have to worry about those kind of things. Honestly, Joey grabbed this hatch towards their left side just to, I mean, you know, it's foreseeable for you, Maynard. I think it should be foreseeable for this man as well. He's going to try to sneak his Lings in, but not allowed. Doorman's in position.
Yeah, wrong shoes for this club. They get knocked out. Now, the Void Rays have been shown at least on the Protoss side of the map, which means Joey's got a chance to respond. His Queen count looks pretty high, so his ability to fight the Void Rays definitely is there. But they got to be in the right place at the right time, of course, and that hatchery, again, a weakness in the infrastructure of GogojOey, and an easy target there for 3 Stargate Void to just roll on and take it down. Good controlling the Oracles as well, doing a tour of duty, getting half a dozen drones, and then just piecing out and keeping alive.
Hydras. He's going Hydras. I haven't seen this yet from Joey.
This is, I feel like, the stronger response against the Void Rays is to go Hydras. I don't really like the air unit response to Void Rays. But Hydras, yeah, big fan. Zergs definitely have different ways of dealing with it. The Spire is one of them. Hydra Den and potentially even going into Infestors. And then, of course, you know, the tier 3 units later is another way to do it. And I'm a fan of the Hydra response. Super high DPS and especially on creep, can really get that giant concave on the Void Rays.
Well, counter-attack from the Roaches. The Void Rays did try to head over there and zap that hatch down, but to no avail. There was about 60 queens in the vicinity. Have they healed up that hatch yet? Is that back on higher HP? There was a lot of energy on all those queens. They still haven't healed it up. It's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're keeping the energy high to transfuse each other's. You know, the sisters doing it for themselves. They gotta keep each other healthy because they are basically the only anti-air until these Hydras hit the field against this fleet of Void Rays. Haas has got so many right now with +1 attack, by the way. Goodbye, Hatchery.
Nice knowing you.
Yep.
Taken out straight away. One Void Ray for a Hatchery. Haas is going to take that trade every day of the week. Mant still hasn't secured himself a 4th base just yet, though. Just the pesky couple of lings being dropped in towards the 4th and 2 optional 4th base locations. Keeping tabs on what's going on. So Joey, in that regard, is doing a good job, and time to go for a bit of a queen walk. Let's start moving across the map and make some things happen.
GogojOey, bless his cotton socks, does not want a later game here. He wants to end the game right now. Haas has got a fleet of voids, and he's done the math in his brain. He sees this army, and he's like, I can take this part of the army, no problem, as long as the queens are on the other side of this ball of units. And he was correct. Shaves into that Hydra count, shaves into the Ravage count. GogojOey has an army advantage, but is it big enough? And Haas even has the static defense to fall back to if things get, you know, it goes from worse to worse. I feel like GogojOey just doesn't have the right amount of units. He's got a good comp, but not enough of it just yet to convince me that he's going to break Haas here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job just staying on the edges, picking off a lot of units before they can really get going. Finally, the transfuse micro does start to come into the equation, and a few of these Void Rays started to get a little bit injured, but it's great target firing. Haas just popping Zerg units right and left. You love to see it.
Yeah, and he's targeting and prioritizing the higher energy queens as well. Small little detail from Haas just to make sure they can't transfuse as well. And now with the queens gone, it is basically just the Hydras. They are in a convincing amount. I'm surprised Haas is committing to this.
That's a lot of Hydras. I'm thinking the same thing as you. Maybe not the most efficient trade, but Haas just does not care right now. He just wants to win this fight. Straight up. Going to start to keep the units in very, very low numbers and go aggressive on the other side of the map as well.
Yeah, Haas is just like, look, I'm going to lose 4 or 5 Void Rays here. People are going to be like, what are you doing? But I'm still going to win the game, so joke's on them. And I think that's definitely the case here. Void Rays streaming on in and breaking the back. And there's that hurt hatchery. Pilly, is the prophecy complete? Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. Oh my god. It's horrendous to watch. Void Rays just zapping absolutely everything. And Haas going to secure himself